we have over here? We have Milan Club Chicago. We got Vinny. Vinny is representing Milan Club Toronto. Milan Club Dallas, where there's Longhorns and Bulls and Cowboys. I don't know what's going on over there. They got Milan fans over there too. But guys, we're going to be here. We're doing a roundtable. Guys, we're talking about SummerSlam, correct? SummerSlam happened this weekend. The Tribal Chief came back, and oh, no, we're talking about Milan. Okay, sorry, guys. I got a little excited. But Vinny, because you're kind of used to these kind of roundtables and talking, what should people do if they need to know when is MWP coming on? Are they going to have a podcast or not? When Stevie P is making his comeback? What should they do?
You got to like and subscribe because this is just a channel that you cannot miss on a daily basis or on a weekly basis. So Mondays, coast to coast, you got to do Thursdays and Wednesdays. They're all over the place. So just like, subscribe. We'll keep you updated on exactly when these shows are going to go down.
We are all over the place. And you know what, guys, this Wednesday, Fabio coming live with possibly another roundtable Milan Club New York. So we got Chicago in the house. We got Dallas in the house. We got Winnipeg / Toronto in the house. And on that note, gentlemen, are we ready? Because as Triple H would say, are you ready? Guys, sorry, I got to get my wrestling. And on that note, let's get this show started.
Welcome to the Milan Weekly Podcast, the English voice of Milan fans all over the world, with your hosts, Vinny T and Stevie P.
Benvenuti nella casa della Giro in area, si gira, sinistro, rete, gol capolavoro di Olivier Giroud.
Mignon with another magical save.
Hernandez, coast to coast, del numero 19.
Leao carica il boccino! Eccolo qua! Rafa Leao!
Yes, before you shit all over us, there's a new intro coming, guys. It's going to be fine. Cari amici sportivi, welcome yet to another edition of the Milan Weekly Podcast. Here we talk everything on Milan, a roundtable of the friendly competition, the friendly tournament, guys. By the way, I determined if we beat this year's Champions League winners and last year's Champions League winner, we are better than any team in the world. That's the way I'm gonna go because the extremes are going on the social media. But guys, we got Milan Club Chicago, Milan Club Dallas. Vinny, originally, yes, from Winnipeg, MWP Patreon, but represent the Milan Club Toronto. Guys, we want to talk about this whole preseason tournament in the States, but their personal experiences, right? And it's been quite. You guys are going to see the pictures that we shared all around. But before I do, we get into the news, whatever. Niko, take the time to introduce yourself. I'm going to ask you the same to Vito, to Vinny. Niko, to anybody, who are you, Milan Club Chicago? How did they get in contact with you? Tell us a little about yourself, how you like walks on the beach. Go ahead.
Of course. I'm Niko. I run the Milan Club Chicago with Dimo Draculis, and you can find us on Instagram at Milan Club Chicago, as well as on Twitter at the same handle. And so about myself, from the southwest suburbs of Chicago. I've been living here downtown now since really college. So almost 8 years now, I want to say 9 years. Live here with my wife and, enjoy a lot of things. Walks on the beach, like you said, right? At least when the weather's nice, and enjoying going out to nice spots to eat. Obviously catching the Milan game on the weekends at the Black Eagle, where we do get together here in the north side of the city with the club members. Right, and I guess that's a solid.
In Chicago, do you guys do you have I know you don't do deep dish pizza because you're a real Italian, right? But do you have a place you go watch the games at? Do you gather around? In a couple of weeks we're going to be facing Torino first game, but if you want to shout out, can they come watch anywhere? Well, what's going on with Milan Club Chicago?
Yeah, so we do watch, as I was saying, I might have got lost there a little bit in the rambling, but at Black Eagle Bar, it's right next to the Globe for those who know of some of the other soccer bars. I know it's a big Arsenal bar. So it's right next to that on Irving Park Road. We gather there for all the games typically. I mean, maybe aside from Champions League because work schedules make it tough, but we try and get some people out when we can for those as well midweek. So we'll certainly be putting out some, let's say, graphics and announcements later this week, most likely about the home opener.
I love it, guys, and they give you the chance after we finish the show to give the plug again. Then we have, of all cities, guys, how can you go Dallas, and then you have a guy named Vito? You can't get better than that, right? Vito, welcome. This is your first time, but Milan Club Dallas. Like, introduce yourself. What Milan Club Dallas? Seriously?
Yes, sir. Yeah. No, thanks for having me, Vinny. I'll tell you this. I know there's at least 3 Vitos in Dallas.
Okay, 3.
My father, myself, and my son. So
I love it.
No, honestly, I was born here. My parents actually met in Montreal, not far away from Vince. And so, yeah, they came here back in the 70s. And the rest is, shall we say, history. No, my father has been an AC Milan fan for, 60 years now. Since he actually told everybody this, since 1959. and so, yeah, man, since I was born, it was my thing. That was, my dad was in the restaurant industry, so I didn't get to see him much except on Sundays. And obviously that was a perfect day because we get to watch Milan games together. So yeah, man, ever since I was a baby boy, that was my thing and my thing, especially with my father. So we definitely have that.
Gotta love that family connection. But Milan Club Dallas, man, I know it's fairly new, but how about you? Like for the first game, are you guys getting together? Do you have a bar that you go to, or talk to us about Milan Club Dallas?
Vinny, it's funny. Franco in New York, he told me one of the first conversations I had, when trying to get this club up and running, he said, it's going to take you some time. You have to find a place. Yeah. And so it was tough. It was tough for the first year. It's funny. I posted on a Facebook group called Italiani a Dallas, and I posted in Italian and I said, hey, Milan fans, like to see if we can find a place that's owned by an Italian, of course. And all these, Laziali, Romi, they're all just starting to start shit. It's like, are you fucking kidding me? So I basically I cold called and I found a place finally for this year, at least the afternoon games, the 1:45 Central starts. Cibo Divino. It's a marketplace. They have a badass bar, kind of goes inside and out. You can buy all sorts of, Italian meats and produce and pasta and all, wine. So it's actually it's a pretty sick spot. I'm excited to be able to have, events there, host our club members. And man, I'll say this. We aren't many as far as Milanisti in Dallas.
It doesn't matter.
But we're just like, true Italian. What we lack in size, we actually have in passion. So we make up for it.
It's got to start somewhere, Vito. It's got to start somewhere, and that's what the most important thing is. Spreading the word. And whether like Milan Club Montreal, we're like over 100 members, and sometimes there are games where 2 people. Don't bother yourself with that. It's all about the journey and getting guys together. And the best of luck to you. And we're gonna plug your club at the end of this podcast once again. Then we got Vinny. Vinny's a man of the people. Vinny, Winnipeg. I don't know what your parents were thinking about moving to Winnipeg when they migrated. I don't understand. Minus 40 degrees weather, but you decided to go down, to Chicago. But to talk to us about a bit about yourself. People know you from the Patreon chat sometimes. But Vinny, who are you, and what do you like? Why do you like walks on the beach?
Oh, this is this is going to be nice. Well, first off, I'm going to say that I had the pleasure of meeting 2 out of the 3 Vitos from Dallas, and they are absolutely fantastic people. So again, very, very nice to meet you. And I'm happy we made a friendship over this last week. And same thing when it comes to Niko and Demo. Demo's not on the show, but he's another portion and another half of Milan Club Chicago. And if it wasn't for their hospitality and everything that they did for me and my friends that went out there, it wouldn't have been the trip that we had. So again, I just want to say thank you to you guys both, because you guys made the trip what it was. So thanks. Where it comes down to me, to be honest with you, I've supported Milan for almost 22 years now. The thing that really skyrocketed my passion even more was when I lived in Toronto. I lived in Toronto for 7 years, and that's where I connected with Milan Club Montreal and Milan Weekly Podcast. And that's when Vinny and Stevie were doing it together, not separated, but together. And I've been saying, you guys got to bring back a show together where you guys
I
are.
know. Yeah.
Yeah, let's do it. But I started watching them, and I was always looking for a Milan podcast, and all of the content that they gave us was exactly what we were looking for at the early stages. And this is banter era, when probably Milan didn't even know what the heck was going on in North America, or if we even had fans out there. So what they did to skyrocket this with a lot of the other podcasts that are happening and a lot of the other content creators. But with that, I ended up having to come back to Winnipeg. I love Toronto. I am a Torontonian at heart, and people know that know me here in Winnipeg. I'm a Winnipegger, born and raised, but Toronto is my city. And I love the city, and I miss everybody out there.
Facebook Frank is sending you some heart emojis right
now. He knows. So with that, I moved back to Winnipeg for family reasons, and I still continued the passion. But seeing Milan Weekly Podcast grow into what it is, the connections that I've made with Milan Weekly Podcast, all of these other clubs around North America, has skyrocketed my passion for this club even more. I love Milan, but I love the family that we have here growing in North America. So that's kind of where I'm at. I'm a diehard Milanista. The people that saw me in Chicago saw me in the stands, screaming my heart out, singing my heart out, trying to get chants going with some other members. And that's the love that I have for this squad, and also for the people around me. So that's all I got to say. I'm a man of around the world, but I represent Milan Club Toronto.
You can't be more Italian, guys, than Vinny Mancini with new Milan jersey with the cross out. You can't get more Italian than that. He's right. Look at it. Look, guys. Before we get,
don't get me started on this stuff.
People forte, scusa. Are you Calabrese, Vinny?
Samango d'Aquino, Calabrese. Sì,
Calabrese, the Guys, before we get into your experiences through these preseason games, I want to talk to you about a bit of the news. And guys, you know what? This week hasn't been really newsworthy, but I wanted to take your opinions. One of the articles I read today on Sports Media said is adesso le session, like who are we going to sell? And I wanted to ask you guys, out of all the starting lineup, if you had to sell somebody. Now, I don't want you to tell me about, I want to sell this guy because I don't like him. I want you to tell me, take your Milan hat off, right? And talk to me as a businessman. Who are you able to sell legitimately, right, that somebody would want him, and for a good price? Niko, let me start off with you, man. Can you think of somebody?
I think looking at the squad player for player, right, and you think about the Tonali type of sale we made last year, I'm assuming that's kind of along the lines of what you're saying. The one that sticks out the most to me is one of Tomori or Cha, right? Because we brought in Pavlovic. Those are the two I think that have the highest value defenders, bring in a lot of money for clubs, right? We see them going for 60, 70, 80 million because they're not in abundance in that quality. And they also still have the ceiling. I think Cha more. But it's a matter of how it can be reinvested, I think. So that's, I think, have to be my answer right now.
So if you go between Chow and Tomori, like, what's your price for Chow? If you those rumors of 30 million, would you take? Yeah, obviously.
I was remembering, right, we were seeing 30. I thought I saw 40 earlier in the summer. It's kind of faded in and out, right, with Newcastle. I think somewhere between like 40, 50 for like a Chow would, I think, be able to give an injection to the squad. In the departments they're looking to address for Fonseca.
We can't sell Chow. He gave a smile to Fabio. We can't.
I know. He's my wife's favorite player. They took a picture together.
No, but I'm with you, man. I think Chow, if he brings him a high number, I think what we've seen from him after his injury, was especially in the second half of the season wasn't the greatest. Vito, how about you, man? Do Niko from Defensive Dynamo podcast? Now Benny's been mentioned in the past. Are you with Niko with the Chow? Do you see anybody else being sacrificed for a good amount?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, let's not sell anybody until we figure out who we're going to get. I mean, at this point, it seems like we always get this late in the summer. I mean, we're less than 2 weeks away from the season, and we're going to start bringing guys in after the season starts and then get them integrated and get. I mean, I don't like how it's a consistent process with us. Summer after summer, we wait this long.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm going to tell you guys is probably not going to be well received.
It's okay. We're very controversial here, man.
All right, perfect. Because this is going to be controversial. Chow, obvious, right? You know, we just got Pavlovic for what, 18 million, and you can sell Chow for 30. I mean, come on, give me a break. You're not going to get double the production from a guy like Chow over Pavlovic. Magnan, I'm sorry, I love Magnan. Magnan is an incredible goalkeeper. And listen, I will say this. Listen.
We're listening.
60 million euro, right? 60 million euro. Di Gregorio just went for 20. And Di Gregorio is not 1/3 of the goalkeeper that Magnan is. In fact, I would say that Magnan's year last year was subpar for his standards, which is a very high standard. Yeah, he played well at the Euros. I love Magnan. But I'm looking at it from I'm a businessman. I'm looking at it from an economic standpoint of if we're going to really move the needle, especially in the field, because we have issues scoring goals. We've had issues scoring goals for a while now. We've got to somehow figure out a way to give us the influx of cash like we got from Tonali last year. I obviously we don't want to do it with Leao. I don't want to do that with Teo. I mean, and I'm thinking, listen, I'm trying to blow everybody's minds right now by a high figure sale that
we
could
have
give
goaltenders splitting their tendons in a hotel room. You want to go? Who are we going to replace?
Can I? Vito speaking. Continue. No, Vito, continue because I'm going to piggyback on this. Is a great.
He's
talk.
going to piggyback. Okay, but Vito, I respect your opinion because you're explaining why you would Magnan. But okay, so here's my question to you: who do you replace him with? Scoufet?
That's what Vince is going to piggyback. He's going to give you the replacement.
Okay. So
I'm going to say it. Can I?
Okay, Vinny, go ahead.
If we want to be ballsy and we want to ruffle some feathers here, Torriani, who played all 2 games. I know. No, I know. But this is talking points here. Let's just fun for debate. Because this is like Vito.
Yes. Okay, go ahead. Yes.
Here. Todia, what have we been complaining about, especially with the Euro that just happened? We had a shit squad, and we didn't want to play any youth. We didn't want to bring anybody in. What did we do with Giju? Giju came in at a young age. I know he's not as young as Torriani, but he was young. But they had faith in him. They gave him confidence, and what happened? He became one of Italia's best goalkeepers.
And then he fucking left us.
And he left.
PTSD
for the money.
PTSD from that.
Exactly. So you guys were there. We all watched him play live.
Yeah.
He is a modern day goalkeeper that is fantastic with the ball at his feet. Exactly what we need with this kind of new manager, Fonseca. And on top of that, something that Giju still doesn't know how to do. He doesn't know how to play the ball at his feet. No. So that's just an option that we have. I know it's a very crazy option to consider, but if this kid starts to play, and he's played 2 very world-class teams on a global scale with a lot of eyes on him, he played great. He made some really crucial saves, and he distributed the ball perfectly. Vito, I'm going to pass it back to you because I don't know if you want to continue this one.
Yeah, you brought up Donnarumma, and I mean the thing with him is, I have a little bit of PTSD. And listen, we made it a habit to let some high value guys leave us for nothing, and that put us in a shit show of a mess. Where, thank God we kind of played this Moneyball game to get us back in the game, but I feel like we. The only thing that I would say to counter this is we did take a step back, I believe, when we sold Tonali. Obviously, the midfield there almost felt like a glaring hole, not having not only one of the best Italian players on our squad, but a true Milanista, right? A true Milanese, just blood and sweat like a Gattuso. So I feel like but going back to the whole PTSD thing, I don't want to get us back in the habit of letting these guys just run these contracts. We're not going to pay them the salaries that obviously other clubs can. Let them just kind of kick the can down the road, and then a year from now, 2 years from now, they bail on us for nothing.
Okay, so you know what? Let me ask this final question before we get into your memories of the game. I'm going to start with Niko. Theo, Magna, right? And who else we're talking about here? Benacer.
Adley.
Who's the easiest to replace? And Theo, sorry. Who's the easiest to replace, guys? Now, take your Milan hats off. Who's the easiest to replace in the position that they're playing? I'm not gonna go with Magna. I'm telling you right now.
So Theo,
Niko.
Leao, Benacer, right?
Yeah.
Just 3. We're keeping it there. All right.
Theo, Leao. No. Let's go with Theo, Leao, and Magna. Let's go with those 3. Theo, Leao, Magna. Who's the easiest to replace in that position?
Oh, I mean, if I had to pick one of the 3, I'd have, as much as I love him and, have enjoyed a lot of what he's done, just because of consistency from the other 2, right, what they've demonstrated, right, season over season. Obviously, I think now with a new coaching change and the staff overhaul, I'm expecting, we'll see at the end of the season if Magnan plays more than 60% of the games. But I would have to say Leao. Only because
the easiest to replace?
No, I think that the full back market is so barren. We see it every year where like a fullback is sold for, like we saw Cucurella, right? He went for 80 million in the Premier League, right? From Brighton to Chelsea, or whatever those numbers were. And that's a position where not a lot of really top quality players play and exist right now in the top 5 leagues. And I think it's going to be much harder for us to replace that with Theo. And I think Magnan too, right? He's easily top 3 right now, keepers in the world when he's fit. Now, again, it's a matter of fitness and how.
Okay. So you're going with Theo because of the market.
No,
I get.
I would keep Theo Magnan because Theo consistently.
Leao. Yeah.
Yeah, he's one of our top performers every season, the last 2 3 years. And
so you're saying Leao is easily is a big word,
easy,
but it would be easier to replace Leao than those 2.
Yeah, a change of shape, right? Even if we move away from the wingers, right? Like there's ways you can make that work versus say taking out one of your key defensive players or one of your, obviously your fantastic goalie.
Okay. No, I like your argument there. Vito, do you agree?
The market.
Out of those 3? Out of those 3.
I mean, I feel like going back to the business side of things, I feel like Leao is one of our most marketable players as well, and that's another thing too is money, the money associated with that. And I think that it's left. I would say left wing is obviously probably a little easier to find a quality quick speedster on the left side. I would say for me personally, Benacer. I feel like he's injury prone, and we haven't seen the best of him because he hasn't been able to actually get running, through a full season, at least in the last couple of years. And then I think Magnan. Listen, the thing with Magnan for me is, I look at a guy like Montipo in Verona. I mean, the guy plays on a shit squad. He's younger. He's Italian. Throw 15 million and they'll take it, no questions asked. And you can now essentially fund 2 to 3 other players with the excess 35 million that you sold Magnan for. So I think it's going to happen at some point. Magnan's not a long-term guy here. Every summer, there's always some sort of rumor, some sort of question of what, how much money he wants, how much of a raise, etc. Listen, we found him, on the cheap. Nobody thought he was going to be what he was when we got him. Or what he is when we got him.
Like
so
your argument.
I think
you're talking about as a businessman. It's a business, right? We've been saying it so long on this podcast, guys. It's a business. So I respect the fact you're going what Magnan, because it's not maybe the argument that is easy to replace, but when are you going to get that kind of money for a goalkeeper? Vinny, do you agree with Niko and Vito? Who would be your easiest to replace?
if you look at the market and you look at the players that we have, unfortunately, the easiest person to replace to get another player in would be Leao. We could make some significant money, but we would be able to also reap the benefits of having somebody to cover that position. There's people in the market that we can buy. There's also people that we currently have on our team, like Okafor, that can play that position. I don't want to see that happen, though. If we have to get rid of anybody, the easiest position to fill on a global market is Manuel. We'd make a significant amount of paper. We could probably find somebody on the low to actually fill that position, and we could probably still do a Scudetto run with the team that we currently have. So if I have to get rid of anybody, it would be Manuel. Easiest to fill, Leao, just because of the market. And that's the way that's kind of my prediction or my assessment on that.
You know who's irreplaceable?
Theo.
You know, huh?
You can't get rid of Theo.
No.
Like, that position would be so hard to fill. Right back and left back, we're already having difficulties filling these positions.
Yeah.
You can't get rid of that guy. I'd love to see if we could fill that position with somebody else, but there's nobody out there, and he's world class, and especially with what he's done this Euro, showcasing his worth.
Guys, let me ask you one thing. Take one player out of the equation last year. One. Take Pulisic out of the equation last year. Would have been fucking 6th or 7th. So for me, irreplaceable is a guy like Pulisic, right?
Vinny,
and I know when everybody went down, he was able to perform Captain America, and now Fabio was liking these comments, but irreplaceable. It's hard. Like everybody, like I'm trying to, guys, you know, we're all about the same age group, like, you know, the Milan in our hearts, and you know, the history and everything, but it is a business, and si tifa il colore e non il giocatore, as we say. And irreplaceable is not a word that we should be using. And nowadays, look at a guy like Tonali, like Vito you were mentioning. But look, do you think a big signing is coming? Let me take one last round before we get into the memories. Is there one big signing or one big leaving before the end of the transfer market? Niko, take it to you.
I think from what I've been reading, right, there might be one of each. I've been reading a lot of articles like from Sempre Milan and from some of the other ones out there where they have been talking about swap deals, right? Maybe throwing an Okafor for like a Tammy Abraham, or I had heard last week they were considering putting Davide Calabria in there as well for a swap. So I mean,
Calabria and Okafor for Tammy Abraham, like I don't get that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't love it personally. I mean, we'll see. It's definitely not the Milan of maybe, let's say, the Berlusconi area where he was guaranteed right on the last day of the window. News was going to break that we were bringing in like Ronaldo,
Mr. X.
Right, exactly. So it's a little bit difficult now because I know we've been frustrating Monaco with the Fofana deal, and I'd love to see him come in. He addresses needs for sure, but we'll see if it gets over the line. Maybe the big signing just ends up being Emerson Royale, and we have to sit with that.
Vito, big signing or big selling?
I mean, listen, if you go by the numbers that they told us at the beginning of the summer, we've got all this cash, and that's just before we sell all these players, right? I mean, we shouldn't have to let anybody out the door. I mean, it sounds like, one of the guys I've been most impressed with the last couple of games, Salamakers, is on the block.
Salad maker or
salad makers, or as my father would call them, sales makers. I would hope, obviously, we're going to get the influx of the guys that were, going late into the Euros, coming into the squad, some of our best players. There's going to be too many guys, especially if Emerson comes. I would hate to lose Calabria from being on the field. Has he played subpar at times? Yes. But you're going to take one of the few Italian guys that we have on the squad when the country's already bitching. The Gazzetta dello Sport is already bitching about it. I mean, I feel like the squad we have right now, different change in tactics. I'm sure we'll get into the game and some of the things I liked and disliked, but we shouldn't have to sell any at least difference makers right now. I'm sure we'll loan out some of the younger guys, but difference makers, especially guys that we've seen the last couple of games here in the States, I would hate to see them not on the squad here in a couple weeks.
Vinny, let's close off with you, man. Big signing or big leaving? Do you think we're gonna splash splash the news before what's the end of the guys? August 1st? Is it August 1st? No, sorry, September 1st.
Yeah.
Mhm.
We don't have the Condor anymore, so there's going to be no big signings, unfortunately. So we'll get that out of our head right away. We shouldn't be getting rid of any of our foundational players right now. Our pillar players, like Vito was saying, have to stay. They've said that we're making money, we're in the green. We are in a very comfortable spot compared to a lot of other teams that aren't selling any of their players. So all we should be doing is thinning the herd and getting rid of the players that are costing us money in the bank for no reason. I'm going to leave those players unnamed because I don't even want to tell them or give them any publicity. So I'm not going to say that. They can all screw themselves because all they're doing is sitting on a bench and getting free physiotherapy for nothing. That's the people that we need to get rid of. But you all know, if you've seen me on the show before, Adley's my boy. I love that guy to death. I got a kit with him, his name on the back, because he's got Grinta and he's got the Cuore di Milano that I love. And saying this as a person that adores this guy, if he goes, we'll make a little bit of money and it's going to be good for us. And it's because we've got those positions. So that's what we have to focus on. Thin the groups that aren't playing right now and focus on just getting those one or two key players that we need to really compete for Serie A and get that depth that we need. Fofana. Let's get that finished.
We need to rotate. We need depth has been an issue for us. We need to be able to rotate guys in for the midweek games. You know, Coppa Italia, we always put some sort of half-ass squad out. I mean, I feel like we need a lot of these players, all the players that we've seen, especially if we're going to compete for all the titles that we want.
Yeah, and I think we're underestimating too the new Champions League format as well for the league phase, right?
We shall see, but leave it to Champions League. For me, I'm leaving September 10th, right? And they're already scheduled Serie A, the EPL, everything's been scheduled, but the Champions League, they're going to do the draw on the 29th with computer generated, as they said, and they're going to come up with the schedule on the 31st. So I got like 10 days to organize my trip. I hope there's a game somewhere in Germany. I hope there's a game somewhere in France and Spain. I'm going to go there and watch the game. It is what it is. Gentlemen, we are here to talk about your experiences. It's been a couple of years now they're doing these American tours. Our beloved meal. Well, Uncle Jerry, he knows that the money is in the U.S. Niko, I wanted to start off with you. I got your pictures here. As I go through the pictures, talk me through it. Talk to me about your experience, how it was, and talk to us about your feelings.
Of course. Thank you. This first one here is from the day of the match, right? So it was a pretty chaotic day in Chicago. We had Lollapalooza, the music festival. It was already set up in the parks near Soldier Field, across Lakeshore Drive. So roads were already cut off for that. And then we found out that Donald Trump was speaking at an event as well, the same day as the game. So traffic was backed up. I was seeing videos through the evening, through the rest of the week, of people who it took them 4 or 5 hours to get in. They should have planned better and left at 11 a.m. and just, left their jobs to make sure they could be there for the games. Fortunately for us, everyone from our side was able to get there well in time. And, my wife there next to me in the picture on the left, she took charge of a lot of the decorations for the tailgate, wanted to make sure that, it looked like Milan, right? Because for her, she asked me, she's like, what do you have so far? And I was like, I have a table. I have like a case of waters. What else do I need? And she ran me to the store in the middle of the day, and we got the tablecloths. We got, cups. We got the decoration on the side there you see on the table. And there's balloons as well that we tied to the car. But it ended up being really great. Everyone was able to meet up with us. And I think we spent about, an hour and a half, 2 hours there together before heading in for the game. So it was great to meet everybody in person. Obviously, I think most of them we had met at the meet and greet the day before. But it was just a great way for all of us to get together and kind of, talk Milan, right? The way that we support throughout the year, right? We were looking forward to during the game, have some drinks and I guess endure the heat because it was very, very hot that day.
I love these tailgating things. Taking back through these pictures here. I'm gonna scroll through them.
Yeah.
Talk to us about these pictures. I believe that is Zlatan Ibrahimovic, I believe. Is this how we pronounce his name? Yes. Okay.
It's Ibrahimovic, right? But yeah, I mean, what a moment for, I think, everyone that was there. I know we had heard that, I believe it was, there was the meet and greet in New York. I think Bobega and Gabia went
Yes.
and met everybody. And so we were expecting a similar sort of setup, but because they're based in Jersey for the tour, they flew in Tuesday and they basically let us know, be at the hotel by 7:15. We still thought we were meeting maybe one or two players. We didn't have a list or any info. And we showed up and everyone was in the dining area, in the lobby. And so they brought us over here by some tables. We all got to lay out our shirts, right, for signings. And then Calabria came through, Fonseca, right, and the whole team, and Ibra was there as
I'm
well.
looking
And I think
through these pictures. Look at you guys with Captain America.
Yeah.
Look at this. Beautiful, beautiful. Looking through these pictures, you got Tomori. He's from Calgary, Alberta, Canada. Not Calgary, Alberta, Canada, as Facebook friend would say. But you got Tomori on there. Nice picture of the actual field. But,
Yeah.
the whole event, man. How were these guys, man? How was Ibra? How was Tomori? How was Captain America, man?
Honestly, I'll start with Pulisic. He's a really great, nice person. I think he's definitely on the quieter side, I think, personality wise. But he definitely, he took time. He chatted with us. I know my wife talked to him for a bit because I was off running, grabbing that picture with Zlatan, with the rest of the guys. And, he's just he's a very nice person, really genuine. He took time with everybody. He took pictures on the other side of the table too, had let people come around. So it was really, really great to meet him. And obviously, he played well in the minutes he featured on that Wednesday. And Tomori too. I mean, he for me is someone, I don't know, I feel drawn to him. I always like watching him play. So it was great to meet him in person, right, and kind of chat with him for a little bit. And obviously, I think Zlatan stands above, right? I think for what he signifies from his playing career, what we've all seen from him in Milan colors, and just in general, any club he's played for, any, the national team, the things that he did was, it made us dream, let's say, as young players ourselves, right? And made us try things that we otherwise wouldn't have tried. So he was really nice. He took time, chatted with some people, but, with all the travel, they were stuck in traffic from O'Hare for a little longer than I think they were expecting. So people were hungry. So some of them kind of went a little bit quicker than others. And he, I think, was one of them. He was definitely eager to get in and get some food. But yeah, all around, it was a wonderful experience. Definitely a big thank you to the club, obviously, for coordinating that with us. And I have to say, big shout out to Demo as well for coordinating with the club around that, because the amount of, I would say, our messages blew up that day, but also I think leading up to it as well. A lot of people obviously wanted to know. There was a meet and greet where we're very sorry we couldn't get everybody. It was, a limited list of 30 that they gave us. So we reached out to all those who watch with us frequently, obviously part of the club.
Yeah, make everybody happy, right?
And yeah, no, it was just, I think it was really special and great that they, obviously offered us that opportunity. So, yeah.
That's awesome. Awesome to listen to the experiences, the memories that you've made, and meeting those players. What a great pictures. And Vito, you were able to, you traveled. Did you drive? What like you drove? How many hours was
Hell
this
no.
to? You didn't drive. You
Hell
took
no.
a plane. You
No,
took a
no, I
plane.
flew.
You flew?
No. Yeah, no. We flew in Tuesday. In fact, I flew in. So my wife and I, and my father and his girlfriend, we flew together. And really, we had thought about going to New York. I love the New York guys. I kind of wanted a more intimate experience. Hadn't met the Chicago guys. I'm really glad that we ended up going with Chicago, especially, my father wanted to see Ancelotti, so. And honestly, again, shout out to Niko, Demo, and all the crew in Chicago. Vince, all your crew was incredible. I mean, it was a magical week. When it surpassed our wildest expectations. So this picture here.
Wait, hold on. You with Ibra, you with Pulisic,
It was,
and then
all
come
right,
on. There's on the side.
Here's how this went down.
Is this your dad?
I'll
Is this
tell
your
you
dad's
a couple
selfie face?
Yeah, I'll give you a funny story about this. So first of all, I bought the day before we left, I bought all these Puma shirts, these white shirts. I bought a fucking cricket and I made all these shirts. I gave them to the players. And so,
Wow.
So that was cool. And then I had them sign one, which you'll see here shortly. But the best part of that night was, Camarda is walking down, and I'm like, oh shit, Dad, it's Camarda, and he had just flown over, so because he wasn't even in New York for the game, and my father starts yelling, il futuro, vieni qua, bello, vieni qua. I mean, my father was probably the most senior person there by at least 15 to 20 years, and he was the most fanboy about our 16-year-old phenom of anyone I've ever seen about a kid. So it was a pretty awesome experience.
I love it. And here in this picture, just outside the venue, we got the family. Dad's selfie face, as I can see. Hold on, let me compare. We got this face here. We got this face here. Okay, now it's got.
Yeah, that's
shout out to your dad, dude.
I will tell you this: if I think I have to get him a new phone, because the iPhone 12, I looked at the difference between Vince's pictures and my pictures. His iPhone 12, the resolution is shit. So we're gonna have to figure out a new phone for you. Yeah, that's him, his girlfriend. That's my wife in the middle, my sister on the right, and then our very good dear friend that lives in Chicago now, Jim, sporting some Milan Club Dallas apparel.
Very nice. And this is what you were talking about here. Your custom-made Milan Club Dallas Puma polo. Who signed this here?
Jesus, I lost track because there was so much going. I mean, just one after the other, after the other, after the other. I know Ibra, Pulisic.
You're never watching the shirt.
On there. He's the one that actually. Oh no, this is getting framed, and this is gonna be like our charter shirt here. But Camarda is the one right in the middle with the underline 9, which is that's my dad's prize signature there. So
I would picture like your dad going to the local bar, like with the shirt on, and it's too small for him. You know, spots coming out like my dad would probably look over here, right?
Vino stains just mixed in between all the signatures and shit. Yeah,
I love it. But this is what a great memory. And talk to us about these coming pictures here. You sent me a couple of them. We got this one. Were you riding in style, Vito?
So we were staking out the Ritz the whole week. So no, I mean, honestly, again, I'm a business guy. So the company you keep, I feel like is indicative of you. And I love BMW. I have a BMW. I bought a BMW because of Milan. And I love the fact that, high quality brands are Milan, and that's who Milan associates with. At the end of the day, this is a business, and the business is what gives us the players and the things that we need to support ourselves. So
I like it. And this is what Vinny meeting the dad, the son, Milan Club Dallas. I love it. So this is how we close off. But in the end, if you had to take back one thing out of this whole trip, man, what was it? The meeting of the people, the win. I know, like a game, even if we would have lost, I think you would still enjoyed your experience. But the one thing you take back from this experience.
Yeah, I'll say this. Listen, meeting the players is great, but they don't remember me. They're not going to remember my dad. I'm sure Camarda will, but I mean, it's these guys. Obviously, the groups that now I'll be in contact with these people on a consistent basis. If we want to go to Milan, I have several people now to reach out to just go catch a midweek Champions League game if we can make it. So. Like now that I have this, it's almost like this expanded brotherhood that obviously I've been trying to grow here, but I have, obviously a short plane right away. That right there is like what I started this for. It's what I've strived for this whole, love affair to be. And so, these two guys, especially, like this is really the most special part of trips like this.
I love it. You guys stay tuned till the end because we're going to plug back Milan Club Chicago, Milan Club Dallas, and Milan Club Toronto via Winnipeg. Vinny, we got these pictures from the MWP chat, and I want you to start off. Look at this beautiful picture over here. Like you're representing. Talk to us. I know it was a bit of emotional, even conversation with Ibra, but I'm going to take you through these pictures. Talk to us, buddy.
Let's do it. So, yeah, what can I say? This was probably one of the best trips, not just because I got to meet some of the people that I absolutely love and adore, but it's the connections and the friendships that I made throughout the week that we've had. I'm so happy. And as you can see here, the smile on my face has still not come down. I'm a very happy-go-lucky person. I love talking to everybody. It's just the things that I saw and the people that I interacted with and the positive vibes that I got from everybody is what really made this trip so special. And meeting these people have changed my life a little bit. So, and then this was just great. This is part of the tailgate. I came with 2 or 3 other friends, a lot older than me. I'm 35 and my friends are a little bit older, but they're big Milanistas. And one of the friends that I got to come with brought their son, 14-year-old, phenomenal at soccer, plays for a very competitive league here called South End United in Winnipeg. And this was his first game that he ever got to see Milan play. He's a very, very strong Milan passionate follower. And getting to meet these people, get this experience and just tailgate, it was unreal. And the funniest thing about this is it was 35, probably 36 degrees. That shirt, or this shirt that I'm wearing right now, that probably doesn't smell that great, felt like I was walking through a swimming pool the entire time because it was so humid. So Niko and your wife, I just want to say thank you so much, because they're like, Vince, go in the car right now. The air conditioning is blasting. Sit in there for 5 minutes and then come back out again. So let's just say I recharged the battery after being pretty much cooked in a tailgate party like it was nobody's business.
You're pasty white, look at you. Then you're getting the sun, you're drinking a little bit, and
man, un poco de salt.
Gio wants to know, did Facebook Frank send you a bit of money for representing, Milan Club Toronto? I'm just saying,
I'm going to talk about Facebook Frank a little bit.
Yes, I know. He sent me a message that he was very adamant about your visit there, but dude, talk to us about these pictures. Come on, as a little tall.
Okay, so I just want to say, before I went on this trip, I always wondered, I'm like, I wonder how big Camarda is. Like, is he big? Is he small for a 17-year-old? This guy is big. So I think just underneath 6 feet. I'm 5'11", I think. So he's just over 6 feet. But the other thing is he's bulky. He's got, for a 17-year-old, he's put on some mass. So that's exactly what we're looking for our future number 9. And I don't want to jinx anything, so I'm going to never say that again. But he's got some skills, and I'm looking forward to seeing this kid develop a little bit more. But again, I'm not going to talk about that. Great person. Gave me the time.
Gio is a little pissed off to everybody, to yourself, to Fabio especially. Nobody got a picture with Zeroli.
No.
So you know that one guy that's always negative. You guys are sending pictures. Oh my God, we met all these guys. Gio's like, where's the Zeroli pictures? That's what this is about. So
he was there, but
yeah, I may have one.
He was like, and Fabio's like, but I got his autograph, and Gio's like, oh, he's got one. Vito's
there
got
we
one.
go.
He's got Zeroli on there. Gio, you got nothing to say. You got nothing to say.
He was very low key.
Vinny, after this, you had Loftus Cheeks, spoke a bit of English.
He spoke a little bit of English, but I tried to speak Italian to all of the players to kind of keep them a little bit comfortable. But man, his personality, I'm going to say, for like the 15 to 20 seconds I got a chance to interact with him, he just like rubs off positive energy. Like you can see in his smile, that is an like absolutely natural smile, just a pleasant guy. Took the time to talk to anybody that approached him. And the thing that was weird was, I'm not going to lie, didn't get one signature. I didn't get one signature. And the day before I left on this trip, I ran to the dollar store specifically to find gold and silver Sharpies. Did they come out of my pocket? Not once. The reason for is I kind of asked the Milan people that were working if I could. There was a table set that everybody could put their kits on, and we were behind getting autographs, getting pictures and stuff. They were really great about that. But I asked them, like, can I kind of stand to the edge of the table? I don't want any autographs. I just want to talk to some of them if I can and get some photos. So he walked by me, and I asked him, like, do you mind if I grab a photo with you? And we just chat a little bit, and he gave me about a minute of his time. We chatted and got a photo together, and they were just all really, really great people.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Who's this?
This man is just world class. I don't want to jump to
Franco told us about New York. Like, I think they saw each other at the airport. He's like, this guy is this world, like all class, this man.
Exactly.
Vinny, emphasize on what you're saying.
He is just an incredibly nice person. And the thing is, you can see that, like, I pay a little bit and I watch Milan TV, and sometimes I watch their training sessions and stuff. Understanding and watching the videos and now being able to interact with them, you can understand why these players have gotten so attached to this coach within the last 3 to 4 weeks. He just embodies a great presence, and he rubs off this personality that just makes you feel comfortable around him. So I can't even imagine what these players are feeling like on a training basis with him, because he's just a great person. And I don't want to jinx anything, because again, being a great person and everything does not reflect tactics, and it doesn't reflect hopefully getting us a number 20. But I'm very, very optimistic about the approach that this coach is taking with these players. And just him being this new manager, exactly what we need. I think we went through a little bit of a negative period over the last 6 months with Pioli. Mad respect to Pioli and everything he did to this club.
About the guy.
But we need some refreshing air right now, and this is exactly what this manager, Allenatore, is bringing us.
So far, so good, right? The great picture there. And talk to us about this experience, Vinny. If you want to share, I'm not going to force you, but you did share some stuff with us on the Patreon chat, but he's a little taller than you.
Oh, my God. I am going to open up here. I'll do it. So, and I'm not ashamed to open up here. So 3 years ago, I unfortunately got diagnosed with something called multiple sclerosis. I'm a very, very active person. As you can tell by the way I talk, this kind of characterizes the type of person when I am moving. So MS isn't the greatest thing. I unfortunately can't really play sports anymore, but I'm still a very active person. 3 years ago, when I got diagnosed, I was in a very dark spot. Things were changing in my life. I had to get used to situations that I wasn't used to, a lot of things in my mind. But what really kept me going and what I really grasped onto was my AC Milan and my calcio on a weekly basis. And the other thing that really, really helped me a lot was this community that we're growing with, Milan Weekly Podcast, and all of the clubs, Milan Club Toronto, Milan Club Montreal, all of the clubs, Milan Club Chicago now, Dallas. It's really, really helping me. So I was sitting at the edge of the table, and he literally walked by me. He had to get to this room to clear out, and I can understand that. But I turned back and I said, "Excuse me, Mr. Ibrahimovic." And he didn't have to turn around. He could have kept on walking into that room. But he turned around, and I said, "Do you mind if I talk to you for a minute?" And he's like, "Of course." He walked back to me, and pretty much what I told him was I was in a dark spot, and being the supporter of Milan and just kind of really grasping this club and the clubs that I've been part of have really got me to where I am today and have kept me into the light. And another thing is your determination, your grit, and your force is something that I really hold true. And it's really helped me continue to move forward and stay strong. And he looked down at me and he said, "Listen to me, keep doing what you're doing. That's the type of event, like, that's what I want to see from you. Keep being strong." And I asked him for a picture, and he gave me this moment, passed the camera over, and right before he walked away, he looked at me one more time. He's like, "Keep doing you and stay strong." So for anybody that's dealing with an illness, for anybody that has MS, if anybody's going through a terrible situation, grasp onto something you love, stay close to your family, meet people that are very positive, and continue to move forward. Don't let this shit stop you. Don't let it put you into a dark spot. You can have your terrible moments, but really grasp onto things that you love and continue to move forward, because things could really be worse. And
Vinny,
really
I have a cousin that got diagnosed with MS, and he's got your age. And I'm not going to say I know how you feel, because I don't, right? But the way you just described this story, opened up to us. And the way you just said, Mr. Ibrahimovic, and I think it's because you called him Mister that he turned around to you. But that kind of story, that's something that you're going to bring to your grave, right? It's just something you're going to remember for the rest of your life. And dude, thank you, honestly, for sharing that. That's freaking awesome.
Thank you. No, thank you guys, because I was in a dark spot 3 years ago, and if it wasn't for this family that I've gotten and been delivered and gifted, I wouldn't be the same person I am today. So don't thank me. I thank all of you guys. And I thank Vito. I thank Demo. I thank Niko. All of the people that I recently met. Again, you guys are keeping me so in a great spot.
Montreal is waiting for you, man.
I'm coming.
You know, we got the superior bagels. You don't want to talk about New York bagels, whatever, but we're waiting for you, buddy. We're waiting for you. Me and Stevie. And then you had possibly Capitano Passato, Capitano. You got Calabria. Look how smiley he is right now.
Also a great person. You know what? I'm gonna say, as a Capitano, he represents Milan very, very well. How inclusive he was to everybody. He gave the time. Again, it was very rushed. Like Niko and Vito probably know, a lot of these players were in and out very quickly. But Calabria was one of the first people. He was one of the last people to leave. He talked to everybody. He was willing to take time. That is exactly what a Capitano has to do. Let's just hope that he speaks a little bit more on the field instead of off the field. But that he is a very, very great representative, and I hope he stays with the club. He just needs some competition, and it might be coming.
Hopefully. So, guys, those were the pictures. First off, man, thank you so much for joining me, whether it be from Dallas, from Chicago, from Winnipeg via Toronto. Vinny, thank you for sharing, man. It's just like, it's great to hear this kind of stuff, and that's what it's all about, guys. I know whether part of groups that you guys are in, whether it be Chicago, Dallas, Montreal, Toronto, New York, there's always going to be those negative Nancy's, and wherever you guys embrace, because stories like this is what it's all about. Stories like Bizak, that Algerian guy that 2-3 years ago had just moved to the country, and he's like, I saw you guys on the internet and I wanted to come and watch with you guys, and he came, and to this day he comes and watches the games, every single game with me at the bar, right? Those are kind of stories. Vinny going from Winnipeg and meeting the guys from Toronto, meeting you guys from Chicago, Dallas. Enough with this. It's entertaining, the negativity, guys. It's entertaining. But in the end, this is kind of the stories that we need to remember about this whole community and brotherhood and sisterhood. Let's not forget our sisters in the Milan family, right? And that's what I'm going to give you guys another chance. Milan Club Chicago. Tell everybody, how do they get informed? I don't know if you take 2 minutes. Do you charge membership? Where do people join you? How do they reach you? Plug yourself.
Yeah, so at the moment, we are meeting for matches at Black Eagle. It's located in Old Irving Park, I believe, on Irving Park Road in the north side of the city. For members, we're just accepting for whoever will want to come up and, come watch with us. So there's no, let's say, structure at the moment. So, for us, it's just about getting people together, and that's what the club's always been about, right? Since Demo and I kind of took over a few years ago, and just getting more people out week over week. And you can check everything that we're doing. We post regularly during the season for every meetup that we do through our Instagram at Milan Club Chicago, as well as the Twitter account as well, which is the same handle. So at Milan Club Chicago again. But yeah, no, looking forward to seeing more people out this season. Obviously, for any of you who are watching from maybe other states, maybe from Canada, maybe from other countries, if you're passing through and it happens to be a weekend where we got a game, let us know. We're happy to have you.
That's what it's all about as well, right? Would it be any Milan clubs from around North America, any cities that you're in, reach out to us. We're going to make sure that you're greeted in open arms. If we need to go down to Dallas, Texas, where it's like, if we want to have, like, everything's bigger in Texas, right? What did they say, Vito? But if we need to come down there, to what is it, like 50 degrees there in summertime? And
yeah.
But tell us, man, Milan Club Dallas, if we need to come by, how do the people reach you? They want to watch a game. And Dallas is like, you're really in Dallas, is like an outskirts, or tell us all about your locations.
So we don't charge membership. I actually pay you for membership. I'm kidding. No membership.
Don't tell our president that he's going to tell you, no, you can't do these things.
No. It's so yeah, we I personally live in Arlington. I live about 5 minutes north of Cowboy Stadium. I work in Dallas. And we gather we're planning to gather for the first time at Cibo di Vino, August 17th, 1:45 p.m. Central. Cibo di Vino, it's an incredible place owned by Italians. The Italian owner is a Milanista himself, and really, not only do we like to go drink there, we like to buy our Sunday evening dinner groceries there as well. So and really, as far as who we want there, everybody. Even if you're an agnostic soccer fan, even if you're not a cultural fan at all.
What if they're interistas?
Okay, I
You
like.
see, you don't know. You said
I
everybody.
thrive in that environment. I'm not converting an interista, but I want this. We definitely market to a lot of like English soccer fans because they like to see passionate games, and they don't have necessarily an interest of whether Milan, is good or not. They're there for the game, and we've converted quite a few. Especially, it helps with Pulisic to be on the club. So yeah, we take anyone, any friend, even if they're not a Milanista. I want them there. It just helps us grow. It helps us kind of spread the word. And I think that over time, we probably tripled the size of this club in a short period of time, and I think that it's only going to get better with. I think. Listen, at the end of the day, the product on the field helps. And so if we're on CBS Champions League, on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, we can get deep in the tournament. Shit, let's win the tournament. Like we know we can, like we have in our history, right? Then that could just take us to another level. And then the last thing I'll say is we're really ramping up because 26, the World Cup's going to be here. We had 9 games going to be down the street from my house, and the goal is like just create this large, massive following, so that hopefully, Italia will come here, but the U.S. as well, and having Pulisic still in the club will definitely help kind of gain some more steam.
I love it. And you know what? Now I know that if I want to go to Dallas, because I've never been to Texas, I got somebody to go see. But in reality, Vito, I saw pictures of your dad, and I want to meet your dad. That's what it comes down to.
Let's go.
Yeah, but our exchange money, it's not very good right now, Vinny. You probably got it up in the gums there. This American, $10 American is like 17 Canadian, but it's okay. You're on vacation. That's what it comes down to, right?
I'm not on vacation for the next month and a half to pay back what just happened. We'll just say that.
Vinny, when is Milan Club Winnipeg starting? That's what I want to know. There's got to be more than one in Winnipeg.
We'll see. Me and a friend Marcello are talking about it, but there could be a development where there is a splinter cell of Milan Club Toronto joining and linking up with Milan Club Winnipeg. We'll just say that it's in the works.
It's in the works, but Vinny, again, thank you for the pictures. Thank you for being part of the MWP Patreon family. Dude, I'm looking forward to you coming, because let's not kid ourselves. Montreal is not gonna come to you. You gotta come to Montreal.
I'm coming.
And then you're gonna go, bad Toronto. It's not bad, but Montreal is Montreal, right?
Exactly.
That goes to Chicago, Dallas guys as well. La Belle Province, come over. We're going to take care of you. Several grappas at the bar, a couple of beers, and we're going to fight with the old men, because that's what I do with the old men at the bar. They don't know what the hell they're talking about, and you're just going to join in to the fighting. But
Vinny, can I quickly too? I'm so sorry.
Of course.
I just do, because again, I'm from Winnipeg, but I do represent Milan Club Toronto. It is my club that I adore, and I've met some great people. So if you are in Toronto, please link up with Milan Club Toronto. The guys there are great. They watch their games out in Vaughan, and it's called Mills Tap House and Grill, I think it is. It's a great place to go to, great atmosphere. And one big shout out, because if it wasn't for Facebook, Frank, you guys probably all know Facebook.
Oh, he told me about how he helped you.
I gotta say,
no pezzo di pane, Frank.
If it wasn't for Facebook, Frank, I would have never met Niko, and I would have never met Demo, and I would have never met Vito. And this connection that I have down south would have not been created without Facebook, Frank. So respect, and he is my connection to Milan Club Toronto from Winnipeg. So again, just a big shout out, and thank you.
And that's what it's all about. We like to poke fun and make about Facebook, Frank. No pezzo di pane, veramente, Frank. Thank you for everything that you do. And guys, I'm sorry, Anthony wants me to go down to Louisiana. We're gonna go into Louisiana, and I'm gonna go to
Anthony, come to Dallas. Come on, let's go.
Anthony lives in Louisiana. Where's the Milanistas in Louisiana? Siamo veramente internazionali. From Chicago, from Dallas, from Winnipeg to Montreal, guys. We have a couple of guys before the start of the season. We have Barcelona tomorrow. And by the way, we're gonna beat them because we're the best team in the world. Obviously, have you seen these pieces? Dopo ci sta il trofeo Silvio Berlusconi, no Luigi, Silvio Berlusconi, and then we're gonna tie Torino in the first game. But hopefully we get to chat throughout the year. But Chicago, I do gotta come back down. Vinny, maybe we're gonna use the MWP private jet. I know you didn't want to use it this time. You said maybe I'll keep it for the future times. We'll see from there. But definitely, my brother did come down to Nashville a couple of years ago. I go, I need to get down to Texas one of these days. Now, Vito, you're my excuse. Tell your dad that he's my excuse. I could speak to him in Italian the whole trip.
Stevie P, where you at?
Of course.
Stevie P is coming. So Vito, I can speak to your dad. Stevie P is coming back in a couple of weeks for the season. He is the star of the show, guys. On that note, again, to Niko, to Vito, to Vinny, thank you very much for this roundtable. Let's go watch Barcelona and Milan tomorrow. Ovunque e sempre. Facete una bella serata. Forza Milan, guys.
Forza Milan.
Ciao,
Ciao, guys.
Thank you again.